prior to the GSB, I was working for a financial firm in New York, investing on the public market side, both in healthcare and also financial services, so kind of a traditional hedge fund type model. I actually really enjoyed the work I did prior to coming to the GSB, but wanted to kind of make a career shift into something that was more personally meaningful and where I felt like I was making more of a contribution or an impact. And knew that I wanted to be involved in healthcare and maybe international development, but wasn't really sure exactly what the best next step was. So I think the motivation for me for getting an MBA was to kind of explore a lot of things, gain a lot of new experiences without kind of just going and taking a new job, but actually meeting a lot of different people that had prior experiences, talking to faculty, taking classes and seeing if there was something that I hadn't thought of that I really liked. And then also having those 2 years to be really thoughtful about this next step and what careers or different organizations were best matched for both my skills and interests, and trying to just take a more thoughtful approach to that next step as opposed to maybe pivoting from one career to another right away. And I think also the huge benefit of Stanford for me, and a main reason why I chose the school, is I think there's a large emphasis on personal development here at the GSB and how to become a leader and develop your own skills of management and leadership and develop your own style. And I thought that was a differentiator versus other business schools, and offered this great chance to be in Silicon Valley around all of these different types of leaders and try to figure out what kind of leader I wanted to be. I spent my last summer up in Seattle at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation working in global health. Thought I would go right to the source, and worked both on polio financing as well as financing for the development of new drugs and vaccines. I thought it was a great fit. I mean, it was totally a new environment relative to kind of finance in New York. It's a nonprofit organization, obviously, but they do a lot of very innovative things and really approach philanthropy in a different way. So it was just a fantastic learning curve over the 10 weeks that I was there. I got to use some of my finance skills, but it was definitely applied to a brand new industry with a ton of experts to learn from. I think for me, I learned a lot about myself and the industry while I was there, and I definitely realized that working directly in global health on a program team may not be the best fit for my skill set, but I think it was a great learning opportunity for the course of the summer. So when I was kind of reapproaching the career search as an MBA too, I kind of went back to a number of those contacts that I had made the year before and tried to find out about what types of opportunities were available. And that's kind of how I approached it, and then used the CMC a lot for more of the broader career visioning, thinking about what the right path was, as opposed to specific opportunities. I am going back to the Gates Foundation, which I'm very excited about, but I've decided to kind of switch roles from what I did this summer, which was more programmatic global health, and I'm joining a team called the Program Related Investments team, which is kind of like the internal venture capital fund at the Gates Foundation, where they focus on doing kind of direct debt, equity, and guarantee investments in for-profit companies that are aligned with the program motivations of the foundation. Most of the work that they do is in global health, but they also have some education work in agriculture and financial services. But it seems like a really fantastic opportunity to work kind of at the direct kind of cross-section of philanthropy, the public sector, and the private sector. I think it's definitely a growth part of the foundation, and there's only 3 employees right now, and it's something that is pretty new in terms of the field of kind of venture investing. It's really kind of impact investing. It's really at this cross-section, like I mentioned. And I think the other thing I'm really excited about is finding ways to kind of create markets where they don't traditionally exist for-profit companies to develop products for the developing world. And it just seems like a phenomenal place with a great amount of resources in terms of experts across various global health areas to help think about investments in a new way versus what I used to do in the past. But I think it's a really nice blend of kind of the skills that I developed in my career prior to the GSB with the passions that I've developed while I've been here.